Hello everybody and welcome to my Duel Links character collection series. We start with DM World and have to pick our first character, either Seto Kaiba or Yami Yugi. I went with Yami Yugi, but it does not matter too much as you can get the other one later down the line. And you need both for some unlocks anyways, Yugi and Solomon respectively. I just prefer Dark Magician over Blue Eyes White Dragon. Also, with Yami Yugi as my starting character, I can unlock some characters earlier than stage 16, for example Yami Bakura, Duke Devlin and Arkana. At stage 3, we can unlock Joey by simply winning against him. I am using a basic deck to beat him, as you can see. It's just the Yami Yugi starter deck, and the Seto Kaiba starter deck would look pretty similar to this one. It's a similar power level. At this point, the game made sure you have enough gate keys for this mission and can basically get him right away. So then, off to the duel. Without any level requirements, we challenge him at level 10, even if we had the level 20 gate available. Hinotama is annoying, but that doesn't matter, our monsters are stronger than his, so this won't take long. In fact, Banner of Courage helps me out here. We just put attack points on board and munch away at his life points. These early characters are easy opponents and therefore can be beaten soundly, as demonstrated here. We won without issues or new cards, basically. And so much for the Joey unlock mission. He and his Red Eyes Black Dragon will come in handy later. I can already tell you that much. At stage 6, we can unlock Taya by defeating her at level 20 and activating 5 spell traps in total. The deck has changed as I went into the old box Rampage of the Forest, now having decent monsters and spells as well as traps. This is my base for most of the missions I have to clear. Also, opening packs helps with the Mokuba bingo missions. I am not going into other boxes for a while. No extra deck, by the way, not needed. Let's duel Taya. With this improved deck, we should be fine. Gravity Lash, Insect Knight and Spike Shield are pure gold here, as Taya will be assisting in her defeat. We let her attack and inflict massive damage to end it next turn. I will be doing this a lot, by the way, later down the line. So this wasn't too bad. Let's get her now, shall we? She and her Dark Magician girl will contribute 2. Also there's a level up, a drop card from Taya that might be helpful, but I'm not getting that one. Spoilers, I guess. Yeah. I then decided to go for a little intermission and grab Slifer the Sky Dragon by dueling strings. Ultimately, I need him and Obelisk for farming and some high damage missions. Might as well get them now. Strings is not too frightening if you have some attack points on your monsters. He doesn't like to attack, so our Spike Shield strategy won't help. What does help, however, is an additional normal summon with Rival. To put more damage on board, we just attack and win. Still activating Spike Shield as one of 300 traps for the hidden Odion requirement. And with this we can grab Slifer from the lifetimes list. Also, Strings is now being replaced by Ishizu. You will see that I have way more cards and skills to claim than just Slifer. I cleared all of those without any extra effort while playing the game, including Mirror Force and stuff like that. It's just that easy. While we're at it, let's get Obelisk by winning against Event Ishizu. I was more nervous about this one than Strings, but we should be alright if we don't open a horrible hand. On the plus side, even if we lose, we can just challenge her again until we win. And that's pretty helpful. Also, we don't use up any items to challenge Ishizu over and over again, so it's basically a free duel. And you can even try to clear some missions like summoning light monsters and activating trap cards and stuff like that, and lose to her on purpose. Agido hopefully didn't roll a 4 here, which it didn't. It could revive itself repeatedly and that would suck. With Crossword Beetle and another insect, they will inflict piercing damage, getting us a fast win against Ishizu and a lot of other opponents later down the line. Again, Spike Shield for traps. And that means we get Obelisk from the lifetimes list. Looking back, we did not have to worry about this duel at all and can add Obelisk to the collection. I'm not using it now, so it goes to the trunk. for later. After this, we can move on to another character, Mokuba Kaiba. He's a very special one because he's unique unlock with his Mokuba bingo missions. And we get him by clearing both of his bingo sheets. One of the missions wants us to be at stage 9, so that's the earliest we can get him. For the rest, you need to open card packs, do some other stuff, and play some ranked. They changed this from reaching silver rank 1 back in my days. That was a pain and took forever. And that's a unique unlock done. Now let's take care of some hidden characters. And the first one I want is Ishizu. Once you summon 300 light monsters, you get Ishizu's missions. Beat her at level 30 and beat her with 6000 or more life points left. First, we want to win against her at level 30. All hidden characters in DM World are unlocked from stage 4 onwards, but I did not want to bother with the hidden requirements though. Why Ishizu first? For the Vessel Farm, of course. I am going to demonstrate that later. For now, we finish the duel by running over her monsters and depleting her life points. Pretty simple, you see how this works, and she's not that scary at level 30. With the harder mission done, let's challenge her at level 10 with Joey. And there's a reason we select Joey as our character here, because he has the level, maybe not a level, but it's a basically guaranteed skill called Life Point Boost Alpha, which lets him start with 5000 life points, so we only need to gain 1000 more instead of 2000. With this, we do not have to wait for as many healing cards and hopefully can finish the duel a little faster. While waiting, we should get her close to defeat so that we can bring it home after gaining those life points. Sometimes though, I drag duels out for longer than necessary just because I feel like it. And sometimes I won't get crucial cards until the deck is low. That's how the game can be sometimes. The searching card different dimension capsule will help me in the future, but right now we don't have a copy of it, so we have to draw until we get what we need. And we will get it eventually. The card in question is Gift of the Mystical Elf. We will activate it and swing for game once we get it, to gain some life points. Which takes a while because the game hates me, but that's not your problem, it's mine. And yeah, Life Point Boost Alpha is very good, but it's also annoying. On the other hand, if it activates at the beginning of every single duel, taking some extra seconds. So that's all we needed to do, and now Ishizu is unlocked. Not going past stage 9 for a while, because at 10 we will get more difficult standard duelist decks. And I'm using standard duelists for clearing some missions, as well as leveling characters up. It does not matter for the grand scheme of things, but I'm simultaneously putting in work in other worlds. 7th world, for example, will help with tribute summons for Mako. We then beat him at level 30, use skills 20 times, and summon 6 monsters in a single duel. The tribute summons in 7th world count towards the hidden requirement of 150 tribute summons. We can also summon 6 monsters in a single rush duel with ease. The 20 skills shall happen automatically, so we just have to beat Mako at level 30, which is almost free. And that means we can unlock Mako. I said it's almost free, and most of the time it is, but only sometimes he can be a pain. But this is 2 out of 5 hidden DM World characters acquired just like that. Hidden characters in other worlds won't be that easy though. Crow and Silvio specifically come to mind, but they are problems to be solved later. I now want to grab a copy of the structure deck Hero Rising. This is fusion stuff, warrior monsters, fire monsters, and effect damage on a monster. Helpful in the long run. And it only costs 500 gems, which is nice because Konami made it so all the structure decks nowadays cost 1000 gems. The fusion stuff is good for the fusion-related missions. Warrior monsters need to be summoned for some character missions, but also for unlocking a world. Fire monsters are needed for unlocking a world, and the effect damage on a monster is pretty good. Yeah, we then continue with Odion after activating 300 traps. We beat him at level 30 and activate 10 traps in a single duel. Level 30 Odion is not that bad, and with our usual cards we should get him good. After one battle phase he is halfway done. No sign of fighting spirit, not the card but the thing itself. And that is it. We beat him quickly. I dueled any standard duelist with a bunch of traps in my deck. You'll see a trap-heavy duel against Lumis and Umbra later down the line to get an idea of how that went. I did not want to show the same stuff twice. And the next hidden character that we are going for is actually Weevil Underwood. We simply destroyed standard duelists 100 times to make him show up, and now we have to slap him at level 30, gain 1000 life points and use spell cards 30 times. The spells will happen automatically. We gained 1000 life points against Ishizu and therefore just have to stomp him at level 30. That shouldn't be too bad, right? He is a fellow insect user but lacks the power we have. Tries to make up for that with equip spells but cannot stand up to us anyways, as we are using spells of our own to show him who's boss. You do not want to see me play 30 spells, do you? So I did this off-screen. And here we have Evil Weevil, the Lord of Bugs, the nightmare of honorable duelists and dinosaur enthusiasts alike. That leaves one hidden character in DM World, Bandit Keith. This guy is actually integral for unlocking someone. The requirement is to defeat legendary duelists 50 times. Which also happens automatically if you just play the game. It doesn't take too long, is not really hard, and they spawn in the world at level 10 or 20, I guess, every once in a while, so that's not too bad. You should be fine there. And we then beat him, Bandit Keith, at level 30 and collect 2 machines. I'm not worried about the machines yet, so let's make him cry. Keith usually likes to start with Twin Boral Dragon and second coin toss to make your life miserable. The number of times Twin Boral, even without a toss, gave him his 25% positive outcome was ridiculous in the past. But we have a little something, Stardust Spark Dragon. I got this guy from the box Future Horizon while going for some other characters and missions in different worlds. Sparky can make itself immune to being destroyed once per turn. The rest of my extra deck contains Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, Kachi Kochi Dragon and Gaia Saber the Lightning Shadow to deal with even the peskiest of opponents. No Stardust Dragon just yet, but it will be there later. The machines have been collected while opening packs of Future Horizon in the search for Sparky. And thus, Bandit Keith will be unlocked once we win this duel, which is just now. No more hidden characters in DM World, and DM World with its 5 hidden characters had the most amount. Some characters only have 1 or 2, and then there are worlds like Vrain's World or Zeal World, that don't have any. That's pretty good. So then, stage up, nothing else to do here. So we go to 10 and then 11, because my Valentine is available at stage 11. Defeat Joey at level 20, Joey beats Mai, and you win 3 duels in a row. This is basically free. Let's obliterate Joey first. I don't like that he has to be challenged at level 20, since that uses quite a few of my currently very precious gate keys. But then again, it's not that bad, since we have been gathering a lot of keys in all the worlds with hardly any used on characters yet. At level 20, Joey is by no means unbeatable. And that means we can go on to the next mission. Once we're done here. The next mission is that Joey wins against Mai at level 10. By taking out the standard duelists after getting to stage 11, we already got our 3 consecutive wins. So this will be a quick one. Mai will be the last easy character for a while, since at stage 13 we will get a bunch of missions for a bunch of characters. No more 2 or 3 missions per character, but usually 5. And while we can combine missions, it will still take a hot minute. We'll get our last DM character at stage 21, which is 10 more stages from now. All the other worlds will be done at stage 10 or 11 respectively. At the time of writing this, DM world has the most characters of any world in Duel Links, sitting at 24 characters, which is almost a quarter of all the unlockable characters. Excluding events, of course. That means this video will probably be the longest in this entire series. Great start! Irony aside, we just beat Mai. In just a second. I'm not good at synchronizing the script and the video. All that's left here is to claim our mission rewards before unlocking her. As a free-to-play person, you would have liked to get Mai at level 25, or to level 25, for that one copy of Windstorm of Itaqua. Nowadays, though, there are better cards that are easier to get, like that lifetime Mirror Force. And I personally like Floodgate Trap Hole, which I got from the friend code campaign. Thanks, main account. That helps a lot. Itaqua is still okay though, because it switches opponent's monsters to defense, giving you another turn. It's basically enemy controller, or one effect of enemy controller, for all of your opponent's monsters in a trap card. And as to my knowledge, it's the only copy of the card we can get in the game. So, next we have our stage 13 characters. Start our stage 13 character galore with Pegasus. First we win 3 ranked duels, then summon 2 level 5 or higher monsters in a single duel against Peggy, have Yami Yugi achieve 2 comeback victories against him, activate 2 counter trap cards in a single duel against him, and get 3000 attack points in. Sounds easy, right? At this point you have a red-eyes black dragon and a dark magician girl you could summon to clear one mission. For 2 comeback wins, you let him attack you. Careful though, since he likes to reduce his own life points with mind exhaust. From defeating standard duelists, I got the counter trap card Goblin out of the frying pan, but the card trader's Ryoku field works as well. You can negate your own stuff too, as long as you activate them counter traps. And for a ton of battle damage at once, you can rely on an Egyptian god. However, stacking 2 or even 3 spike shields on one of your defenders is way funnier in my opinion. This is how I got my 3 ranked wins, by the way. For me, that was the most worrying Pegasus mission beforehand. I am not a competitive person and cannot find the same enjoyment in PvP duels most other people can. I am a casual and a player versus environment guy. My joy comes from unlocking anything. Heck, after finishing all the recording for these videos, I continued playing to get all the lifetime skills and lifetime cards. If you're worried about this PvP mission, just don't be. Even a deck as basic as the one I've been using for the most part can win. Spike Shield is hilarious, and with all the piercing damage you could mess opponents up. Sometimes their connection fails, declaring you the winner. Besides that, try again and again until you have your 3 wins. This time around it did not take me too long. I normally wait on the Mako bingo until I have access to the Pegasus missions and thus only have to get my 3 wins to clear Mako bingo and the Peggy mission. Otherwise I would have to play 3 ranked for Mokuba and then 3 ranked for Peggy, making that at least 6 PvP duels. For the second duel that I'm about to have, I decided to win with spellcasters only, because I wanted to prepare for something else. I also kept this iteration of the deck to duel Darkside of Dimensions Slayer at the gate for her unlock. But that is content for the second actual part, the Darkside of Dimensions world. The spellcasters I am using here are mostly from character starter decks or level ups like the Stern Mystic, a 1500 attack spellcaster from leveling up Yami Yugi. 3 wins with spellcasters only will be a mission for good old Arkana later in this video. Here I just take an opportunity to work towards that. There are quite a few spellcaster themed missions among these unlocks, like for Kali Carmine in 5Ds or DSOD Yugi. In the future I try to avoid boring stuff like that, or win 3 duels with machines only, or whatever, simply because I do this against easy standard duelists and it is just not that exciting to watch. In general, a lot of missions want me to do the same thing multiple times, like let you say beat Crow at level 33 times. And then I just like to show you 1, do 2 off screen, and then go for the unlock. The videos here will be a total of roughly 6 hours already, and that is boring enough at times. For your viewing pleasure, and as someone who respects your time, I omit a few duels here and there while unlocking characters like Peggy. You know, I already cut out a lot of stuff like most duel assessment screens or monologues and dialogues, especially if Rains and Sevens are guilty of needless talking. You're welcome. Meanwhile, we want to move on to our next character, and it's actually a tag team. Not Lumis and Umbra, but instead it's Paradox Brothers. Also stage 13, also 3000 attack points. Yami Yugi and Joey beat them at level 20 and ideally get quick victories doing so. A quick victory is winning the duel within the first 5 turns. Not always easy, but it's actually fine for the most part. It's not impossible. You also need to fusion summon twice in a single duel against them. Glad that I have my Hero Rising structure deck. Fun fact, the brothers have to be accessible to unlock Cyrus in GX World. With Cyrus you unlock Zane, with Zane Ubel, and with Ubel you will get Jaden Ubel. Going back to Pegasus, he was mandatory for Jesse Anderson, starting a chain to Zane, Ubel, and Jaden Ubes once again. Oh brother, do I have a lot to say about GX characters, especially that Thunder Giant. If you know, you know. But that is for our actual part 3, GX World. In the meantime, we swapped over to Joestar and let him participate in this unlock. All that talking aside, we still have to get that second quick victory. One way to achieve a quickie is to use one or more spike shields. Then I have several tramplers, which is a boomer term for monsters with piercing damage. If you use one of your super rare dream tickets on number 70 Malevolent Sin or Karma Cut, you also have a viable option. Those 2 cards are fairly helpful for banishing 300 cards, damn you Scud, and are decent cards overall. Number 70 synergizes well with our current deck as Cross-Sword Beetle gives it piercing damage, and we could even detach a World Carrot Weight champion for the banish before discarding a plant to summon Carrot back. Then we swing in. This time around I did not use a super rare dream ticket on number 70 or Karma Cut as they are not necessary. However, I usually do go with these options. Yeah kids, this ain't my first new account. Honestly, if you use your tickets on these and or other good stuff, I can't and I won't blame you. It is your account and you make your choices. It is heavily dependent on your overall goal too. I don't have any competitive ambitions and just want to unlock the characters. You might have a specific deck in mind to reach your goals and then utilize your tickets in the best way possible, which is your own way. The same is true for spending your gems. I made it a point to save as many gems as I could. The half-price gem sale also helped. I hit max gems so many times and spent 2000 gems on the Red Dragon Archfiend and Black Rose Dragon structure decks, mostly to make it a little easier on myself. But it wasn't necessary, so I ended up with max gems and 3000 to 4000 gems to spare in my gift box to build at least a budget version of at least one deck. I think I said it in the introductory video, but here we go again. I'm going to share my own method of approaching this with you. It's by no means the most efficient or fastest or even best way of doing things. My way works for me. If it doesn't work for you, that is fine. In fact, I tried new accounts with other people's approaches, and while they worked in theory, they wouldn't work for me. And yet, these videos of mine might give you an idea or assistance if you are looking for solutions on certain character missions. And if worst comes to worst, bust out one of them delicious character unlock tickets. Sorry fellas, I drifted away. We are talking about quick victories. For comeback victories, I usually rely on cards that decrease my own life points, such as Hieroglyph Lithograph or Cosmic Cyclone, and on rare occasions the aforementioned Goblin out of the frying pan. Normally for missions that states, win with 1000 or less life points remaining. I go about the same way. No damage wins are a little harder to pull off if you find yourself needing one for a change. They still work fine for the most part. Back to business with our next character here in just a few seconds, which could be anyone really, or almost anyone, and I think we should go with Yami Bakura next. He is needed for a character unlock later down the line in this video, and so I think it actually makes sense to get him. But what do we need to do if we want to unlock Yami Bakura? Let's see. We beat him twice without using spell or trap cards. One of these could happen if Yami Yugi duels him at level 20. We also want to hit him for 3000 points of effect damage. The Vessel Farm would do, but that requires the use of a spell, at least one spell. Therefore we might use our Lady Heat's effect instead. We need to get to half life points or even below and summon 3 level 3 or lower monsters in a single duel against Yami Bakura. My plan? Go up against him at level 10, don't summon a monster at first and let him hit me to below 2000 life points. Then summon 3 level 3 monsters with low defense, switch them to defense next turn and let him run over them to clear a monster zone. We then can summon another level 3 monster. And so on. I also want to draw into Lady Heat for effect damage. Alternatively, I get rid of the lower levels myself, for example for a Link summon. I already messed up though, since his life points are too low for effect damage. That means I have to give it another go. But who knows, I might not have drawn into Lady Heat in time. A little waste of time and gate keys, but nothing that causes me sleepless nights. And would you look at that, access to Lady Heat right away in the second duel. Spoilers, I guess, because I'm actually bad at syncing up the script with the video and have to wait until we get the second duel in. My bad. I'm sorry. You probably noticed that I don't do this too much. But maybe at the end of this I'll be better at it. So, Lady Heat right away, that's where we ended up. And she will inflict 200 points of effect damage during each of my turns for every elemental hero I control, including herself. Yami Bakura at level 10 doesn't play any spell or trap cards, and his strongest monster, Terra the Terrible, has 1200 attack, which is indeed terrible. Being weaker than Lady Heat sounds like a win and smells like a burned evildoer. 2 ladies got this done in no time, which, after this duel, leaves the level 20 mission. By the way, we need Yami Bakura to unlock Bones, that's the one I was talking about earlier, in a few minutes. Some characters just need to be obtained before others. Not only that, but I usually grab these easy ones first to leave the tough nuts for later. Future me always hates past me when trying to unlock the big shots. Those for me typically include Arkana, Crowler, Ubel, Jane Ubel, and especially Darksigner Kali. One time on a previous account, DS Kali was the only one I straight up used a character unlock ticket on. But not this time. Spoilers, I guess. This time DS Kali is not so bad when you're obscenely lucky. Went off topic again. We're about to unlock Yami Bakura and I do to him what I'm doing to any other character immediately after unlocking them. Change their deck to my standard Forest Horizon build. Rampage of the Forest and Future Horizon. That part you don't get to see though. Sometimes in between clearing missions I want to level up certain characters. Then I just swap to them and pop off without needing to deal with their decks. Also that way the decks are prepared to do unlock missions like the one for Bones that requires good old Yami Bakura. Next on my list to unlock is actually Duke Devlin. He can be a candidate for a ticket or a super easy one duel unlock, and obviously anything in between. All 5 missions are done as Yami Yugi against him at level 30. We summon a level 5 or higher spellcaster, a level/rank, let me stress this here, 4 or higher dragon, a level 3 or higher rock, and 2 level 4 or higher warriors before finishing him with a comeback victory. The glaring problem is the comeback, since Duki plays a spell that deals damage to his own life points. We probably do not want to let him attack us, because then he can overpower us easily. But with a few careful maneuvers we can do it. The level 5 or higher spellcaster is the level 6 Dark Magician Girl. Told you, for 1 tribute instead of 2 when summoning a Dark Magician. I grabbed a few rock monsters with okay attack, mostly from level up, like Yuma or whatever. A Gem Knight Pearl from your super rare ticket would work wonders too. We then have a bunch of level 4 warriors and overlay 2 of them into Kachikochi Dragon. That is pretty much the plan. Synchro summoning Stardust Dragon, which I have at this point, or Sparky works as well. My problem right now is that I need another warrior monster. My life points are set up for the comeback, so I finish it as soon as I get that warrior. The spell and trap cards keep me in the game. Meanwhile, we keep his field clean, so that we can swing in at any point. I swear, I have warriors in this deck. It's a matter of not drawing them. I'm starting to panic here because he thinned out his deck and now I think he runs out of cards before I draw into that warrior. Ah, come on, man. Give me the warrior. Oh, that's not a warrior, that's a rock type. Come on, man. Stealing, wasting my time. That was the warrior. There it is. Life points okay, then blast him off. And with that we cleared all 5 missions in a single duel. But the best thing is that he appeared in the world and we did not need to use a single gate key. It worked according to plan, but the game ripped out my nerves and ate them for dinner. Stupid warriors. All joking aside, I am glad that it all came together. And I see that I was a little lucky in this duel. A few things could have gone wrong, starting with my opening hand that had both Dark Magician girls. I had put in 2 for consistency. Almost unplayable, but could ultimately be salvaged. Thinking about Duke, will they make something like a Dungeon Dice Monsters world? After Sevens and Rush format, I wouldn't put it past them. Luckily for me, they don't watch this, so I'm not giving them this idea. Our next target is a tag team, yet another tag team I should mention, and this time we are going for Lumis and Umbra. We smack them twice at level 30, activate 8 spells against them in several duels if you want, activate 8 trap cards in a single duel against them, defeat 3 opponents with light monsters only, and win 3 duels with dark monsters only. Besides dark being a heavily supported attribute, we will get this one done automatically while clearing a specific mission for bones in a few minutes. Our pool of light monsters is good enough to beat some easy opponents like certain standard duelists. You could also hook up your account to your main account or ask a friend to do you a solid in friend duels. First, we are doing the trap mission. Keep in mind that, unlike the spell mission, this one has to be done in a single duel. I put in some easily activatable traps, 14 to be precise, and have 6 monsters to protect me. Just in case I would not draw one early, Odion's embodiment of Apophis can serve the same purpose. If you don't have Odion yet, play something like Swords of Revealing Light, which gives you time to draw a monster. When I made this deck, I forgot to add an extra deck which would help me get rid of the monsters equipped with spike shields. Summoning a Kachikochi dragon right now would free up a spell trap zone, but then again it all worked just fine. Most other traps go to the graveyard immediately, like Shield Spear and Castle Walls. I looked through my collection specifically targeting normal traps without activation costs that did not impact the duel too much, as would be the case for effect damage cards like Magic Cylinder. Be aware that stuff like Mirror Force cannot be activated at any point, but requires a certain situation. Anyways, it's not a big step up from 8 to 10 traps in a single duel. If you don't have Odion yet, this mission will be your opportunity. Or you just go into friend duels. Earlier, when dueling Pegasus for my second comeback victory, I played a spellcaster deck and made sure to summon light monsters only, fully aware of the Lumis Umbra mission. I won 2 more duels with lights only, thus clearing this mission. Meanwhile, we destroy everything level 30 Lumis and Umbra stand for, maybe activating a few spell cards? Please? Just one. We have to beat them once more at level 30 and throw in an extra shift against them at level 10 for the spell cards. When it comes to their level 30 difficulty, they are beatable, but you are toast without spell or trap cards. They are surprisingly consistent in busting out their masked beast, and then you are looking at 3200 attack. Okay, forget the spells, we just beat them. You notice that I don't want to deal with a masked beast. However, it's not that bad with just 1800 defense. Floodgate Trap Hole, Enemy Controller, Windstorm with Attack, and even Block Attack can help you out. The lifetime cards Mirror Force and Monster Reborn keep you in the game too. However, both of them are limited to 1 copy each, so you can only play one of the 2 cards. And if you can plant a big booty like Obelisk on the field, you're golden for sure. Alternatively, just use your spike shields to break them in half. There are many ways to solve this. I think throughout all my accounts I've lost to level 30 Lumis Umbra once. All my experience cannot take away the nervousness though. Let's wrap this up by activating some spells against them at level 10. We need to do this, and I follow the same principle as with the traps, using spells that are easily activatable in any situation, don't require a steep cost, and leave the field immediately, making space for more spells. Those life point increasers like blue and red medicine are prime examples. If you keep their life points high, there's no risk in using burn spells like Raimei. While Swords of Revealing Light sticks around for a few turns, it's a good option as well. And the more spells you activated in previous duels against them, the less spells you have to play in this duel. This is the main reason for me to do this mission last. We got them low in terms of life points and are just waiting on some more spells. There's not really a reason for keeping the spells in hand instead of just activating them. I want to play them all in a single turn to rapidly drain my hand. It's like holding myself back and then unleashing the spells all at once. Does not make much sense and is completely unnecessary. Meanwhile, I'm going to have some fun by summoning extra deck monsters left and right. There are two issues here. They are running out of cards, therefore we are running out of time, and we hit the hand size limit, so I'm forced to activate some spells. One monster zone stays free for the moment, and when we draw into a rival, so that we can then activate that spell and summon a monster. Technically we don't need 5 or 6 monsters in hand, just one, so we could discard the rest of them. I, however, like to keep my monsters. And the spells need to go anyways, right? We are almost done with this duel. Yeah, thanks, Captain Obvious. On the plus side, we will get a low deck win. 1 out of 50. I'll go into more detail in the GX video, but you all probably already know. This went for so long that I'm running out of stuff to say. So, how's the weather, right? Seriously though, I want to move on to the next character for some fresh content. You saw me bully Lumis and Umbra 4 times in a row, you want to move on too. I must say though, that their starter deck and level up rewards provide me with quite a few fiends that I might use later, looking at GX stage 10 but also peeking at the lifetimes list for Raviel, Lord of Phantasms. They recently released a Raviel retrain. The fiends themselves can be useful for unlocking DSOD Bakura. In the beginning, I would not change my deck to keep the fiends and Banner of Courage as a continuous spell for Raviel and Hamon. Our next character on the list that we want to unlock is Tristan Taylor, yet another easy one. And that's precisely the reason I get him. He can be taken care of in 3 duels. And we have Joey do all 3 of those duels, because that just makes the most sense here. We let Joey tribute summon twice against him at level 10, show him 2 fusion summons at level 20 and present superior ritual monsters against him at level 30 while not taking damage. Normally I go in reverse order, finishing on the level 10 tributes, but level 10 is in the world right now, so we might as well. The highest attack he has is 1000 on Acrobat Monkey, but he can also boost Chien's Squire. Not by much though, therefore he should not be a threat. For us it becomes a matter of drawing into our tribute monsters and wasting our time until we do so. Wait a moment, is that a Dark Triceratops that I see there? Where did we get that one? I'm doing these missions out of order and just came from a Jim Cook unlock mission. Acquiring the card is documented in the GX video. Instead of it, you can use any tribute monster like Curse of Dragon that I got from leveling up Yami Yugi or Dark Magician Girl. I recommend level 5 and 6 though, as they are easier to summon than level 7 or higher monsters. With our trusty fusion package from Hero Rising, we face Tristan at level 20 now. This is an opportunity to have Joey win with fire monsters only, as this will grant a lifetime skill. Not one that I'll be using though. But if you have an opportunity, you might as well go for it, right? Tristan at level 20 has fusions but rarely summons them. We, however, summon Elemental Hero Inferno, the first. There's another one coming soon. Inferno is already stronger than his fusions, I think. Because Robo Lady, Robo Yaru, whatever, those guys. I think they can beef themselves up to 22, and that's weaker than what we have. That means we probably win. At this point I am not yet fed up with fusion summons, as I haven't done the fusion-related lifetime skill missions. Oh, silly me in the past. Enjoy those fusions before they get too annoying. And I also enjoy beating Tristan soundly. At level 30, Tristan steps up his game. I failed this mission once on that account by simply taking damage. You won't get to see that failed attempt, as it would just waste your time even more than already watching this video. Fair warning, I'm dragging this duel out for longer than I need to, just to show a little ritual summon loop you may apply when going for ritual-related lifetime skill missions. The rituals I am using are Cyber Angels, 2 copies of Ben 10 and 1 Dakini with 3 copies of Machine Angel Ritual. All of those can be obtained with card tickets you obtained as App Install Appreciation gift. Not getting my ritual stuff here, but keeping Tristan on a short leash. Me obtaining those ritual cards can be seen in the next video, which is DSOD World. A problem with rituals is that they deplete a lot of resources. Tristan is facing that problem right now. Another problem is not getting the stuff you need, a problem I am facing right now. I am waiting on Dakini to get my loop going. However, if I don't draw it soon, I stop wasting your time and just go for it. Then I remember that Benton can search Dakini. From now on, Dakini gives me a ritual monster or Machine Angel Ritual from the graveyard each turn. That way I can summon Benten by tributing Benten, let Dakini add Benten back, add the spell, ritual over Benten, and so on. With this I get about 8 ritual summons per duel with just 3 ritual monsters in my deck. For the ritual summon lifetime skill missions I have a deck consisting of 4 ritual monsters, 4 ritual spells, and 12 level 4 monsters. The last ritual monster in this deck then would be Relinquished, which is a card you get from Maximum Pegasus starting deck. Then I go up against an easy opponent or my main account to do this. This friend duel feature can be heavily abused to work on some unlock missions. The only downside is that we do not earn any duel assessment points or experience points, no leveling up characters, and no cheese for Silvio. I decided to end the duel and unlock Tristan. All things considered, this wasn't so bad. In general, I would categorize him as one of the easier fellows. There are some big shots I am still dreading. To be fair, none are impossible, and if you have a plan, you can get any of them with resilience alone. Tristan was unfortunately the last sort of easy character in a while. Bones, Espa, and especially Arkana may not go so smoothly. Yugi and Grandpa cannot be fully unlocked until stage 16, requiring both Seto Kaiba and Yami Yugi of sort. With a character unlock ticket, you will be able to get them sooner, but they are not difficult. It would be a waste. I mean, you can if you want. Your decision, and nobody should judge you. I just wouldn't use a ticket on them. The stage 13 character galore continues with Arkana. There's no point in delaying it, I guess. Yami Yugi summons Dark Magician twice in one duel against him at level 30, wins with 1000 or less life points remaining, and beats him with Dark Magician Girl. We activate 4 spells in a single duel and win 3 duels with spellcasters only. Before attempting this, I would like to get a certain structure deck. It's not required, but makes it a little easier and overall more consistent. I am talking about the Secret of Magicians structure deck. This is the first time I'm doing the missions with this deck, and it was the correct move for me. Let's talk about the 2 easy missions first. We activated 4 spells in one duel against Lumis and Umbra, so that was not an issue. When I saw easy opponents, I took care of the 3 wins with spellcasters only. So, if we clear the remaining missions at once, we unlocked him in a single duel. I am using a skill for a change, Magician's Magic. You get this for Yami Yugi if he summons Dark Magician 3 times in a single duel against anyone. This skill comes with a few restrictions, but allows us to summon Dark Magician without tributing. This makes it quite manageable. With Dark Magician on the field, our skill searches the spell card Secrets of Dark Magic, thinning out our deck and making it ever so slightly more consistent. By the way, I am going to show this deck later, so you can build a similar one if needed. One tip I can give you is that you do not need to try and clear all missions at once. You may focus on 1 or 2 at a time. On a previous account, I saw an early opportunity to defeat Arkana with Dark Magician Girl while having 1000 life points, so I just went for that and summoned the 2 Dark Magicians in another duel after reworking the deck. While it took more gate keys, it was way less stressful. About the cards themselves, you need Yami Yugi, and he comes with 1 Dark Magician. We get another one for buying the structure deck. By this point I had already unlocked DSOD Yugi to get another Dark Magician from his starter deck. The Dark Magician girls were from unlocking Taya and DSOD Taya respectively, as well as a structure deck bonus. I am not lowering my life points too early since that could backfire, and you do not need a comeback victory, just low life points. One of his face downs might have been Spell Shield type 8, which I need to bait out before using Hieroglyph Lithograph. The AI usually does not play two of the same spell traps at the same time, so I knew that the face down was nothing. Therefore I did the things and won the duel. This wasn't as bad as it could have been with all his effect damage cards, his equip spells, and the spell that lets his monsters attack directly. The missions, especially the 1000 or less life points one, used to be way more difficult back in the day. The structured deck and the skill made the Arkana unlock bearable. One card of note in the deck is Hieroglyph Lithograph, which I got from 3 normal card tickets. Its effect is that it increases my hand size limit to 7 by paying 1000 life points. I use this easy-to-get card to manage my own life points while still controlling the duel with the rest of the deck. Most of the DM World characters we have left to unlock should be less troublesome than the stuff we have seen so far. But then again, luck plays into this to some extent. The easiest of duels can be the biggest of obstacles, especially if the game does not give you the cards you need. Sounds like a deck building issue, but I have seen many a deck fail to deliver in time, which caused way better players than me to take a loss. And you probably experienced that as well, I reckon. On the other hand, we all got moments of absurd luck. The game giveth and the game taketh away, and the game will give us Bones next to unlock. And Bones is unlocked after Joey got a comeback victory against him at level 30, and Bandit Keith beats him at level 30 within the first 6 turns. Yami Bakura goes for a no damage win against him at level 30, we collect 3 zombies and win 3 duels with zombies only. When you play the game normally, your collection of zombies is not good. Those guys have less than 1000 attack points and can't do much. The solution is the new structure deck Zombie Necromancy, which makes 3 wins with zombies only a cakewalk. But first things first, Joey's comeback. We can let him attack us once and turn the duel around. However, we should not allow his red-eyed zombie dragon to wreak havoc, or else we'll never win this. Letting him attack us, especially when he went first, is a risky game. The Savior is our spell, Rival, which would have protected us from taking too much damage. And this is where we become aggressive. Why he summoned Skull Servant is beyond me. His life points are low enough, we have piercing and protection, smells like success. Magical Merchant will not save him, nor will his Zombie World. Too late for that, as Zombie World would have prevented the piercing damage. I registered the Mill of Bacon Saver, but I had one more monster to account for that. So, after this duel, let's get the structure deck. Zombie Necromancy is good, but costs another 1000 gems. Besides the Bones unlock, I will be using the cards from this deck for 2 lifetime skills later down the line. And to me, all of that makes it worth getting. Also keep in mind that we currently have plenty of gems. It is all good. Bandit Keith is our next character that needs to do something against Bones, and he needs to win fast. This could end in failure if Bonesy sets Castle of Dark Illusions, which was my main deck monsters. Most of his monsters, however, are weak. And if they run into Spike Shield, school's out. Add some piercing battle damage to make it fast duel. We will start this duel, as we're going to see here, with our usual Spike Shield. Unfortunately, his monster is one with good attack, so he won't take that much damage. And he's about to summon his red-eyed zombie dragon, which I know because I am writing the script as I see the footage, and I can go back and forth. We have to win soon. We have to win during the next few turns. But how? Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, as it is always the answer if we are in trouble. Use the effect, swing in and celebrate. And that's 2 done, but we almost didn't make it. If he has an attack position monster and I can make a rank 4, I will be able to inflict 2500 points of damage, basically guaranteed. No need to be worried when we saw that red-eyed zombie dragon. In both duels we took damage. How in tarnation are we supposed to win damageless? Yami Bakura has to find a way. Bones milling his entire deck with Magical Merchant would work, or a lucky Spike Shield start. Drawing Gravity Lash means we instantly win if he attacks Angel Trumpeter with a monster whose defense is at least equal to its attack. He didn't cooperate, so we keep the Lash as protection and munch away at his life points. Bacon Saver again, but then he throws by summoning Summon Servant yet again. The game was giving this one to us on a silver platter, and I don't have an explanation. With piercing already on board, it would make some sort of sense, but that wasn't the case. We take this one and move on. Collecting the zombies was done as soon as we had that structure deck, and then I defeated 3 standard duelists with it. Surprisingly easy, no fails, we take it. I wonder if they put his 2 companions into the game at some point, so that Bones has his gang. Probably not, but that is fine, as I think the Emerald has plenty of characters. 6 more left for us to unlock, I think. Espa, Seto or Yami Yugi, Yami Marik, Yugi, Grandpa and Rex Raptor. Out of these, Grandpa takes the most duels, being 5, and Yami Marik is the toughest customer left in this world. The next character we are going for, though, should be Espa Roba. When it comes to Seto or Yami Yugi, it is a matter of your starting character. I started with Yami Yugi, so I can only get Seto later down the line. And vice versa, obviously. So, Espa Roba. Joey gets a comeback victory against Espa at level 30 and wins without using a level 5 or higher monster. You collect a Psychic and 3 machines. 4 spells and or traps are used in a single duel against Espa. The most important thing about your deck is in this duel is that you don't have many traps and instead use spells to protect yourself because his Jinzo can stop the traps. Knowing me, I will be showing this deck later. However, it is not the non-plus-ultra. Play good spells you have and that work for you. About the comeback portion of this unlock, he can heal his life points and I can use Gravity Lash to weaken my own monster so that I take damage. Life point controlling cards like the good old Hieroglyph Lithograph might work, but against an opponent as tough as him, they feel like a waste of space. Due to the low amount of helpful spells, I am using Floodgate Trap Hole, but he cheesed out Jinzo. We might be in a bad situation, but at least our life points are lower than his now. We are not playing high-level main deck monsters and I'm not synchro summoning, but XYZ monsters are strong and don't have levels. They are ideal for the situation since we want to avoid using level 5 or higher monsters. And suddenly, the tables have turned. He is almost out of resources and we have some field presence, which means we can swing in for game. Yeah, the good old Dark Rebellion from the Order as Challenger structure deck, saving me once more. When it comes to collecting psychics and machines, you could buy into the pack Future Horizon, which has plenty of both. Mr. Card Trader has a few, and you could make use of some card tickets. Machines are possible drop rewards from several characters, but psychics are a little rare. By the way, in this duel I forgot that I wanted to activate 4 spell or trap cards. In other words, I did an oopsies, so I had to duel him again at level 10 to get this done. But in my defense, when I saw the opportunity for a comeback against him at level 30, I had to take it before the duel could escalate, and getting 2 or 3 Espa missions done at once is still a good deal. You know what could have happened? While waiting for another spell trap, he could have regained control of the duel and then beat me. Thus, I'd have to do it again and spend more gate keys on a level 30 duel than a level 10. And we just saw the deck earlier, and the next character to unlock is either Seto Kaiba or Yami Yugi, depending on your starter character choice. I list both characters' missions. Yami Yugi wins against Seto at level 30. We collect 10 cards, activate 5 spells in a single duel, and summon Dark Magician once. Instead, Seto wins against Yami Yugi at level 30, and Blue Eyes is summoned once. 2 missions are identical, and the level 30 duel, if done in the right way, can already go towards unlocking Yugi. We want to win this duel without taking damage, as that is one of the Yugi missions. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show the Yami Yugi unlock when your starter character is Kaiba. But for one of the remaining Yugi missions, we have to beat Yami Yugi at level 30 using Seto anyways. Dark Side of Dimensions Kaiba is way scarier than this guy, meaning Seto Kaiba in DM World at level 30. Getting Big Bro Kaiba was my priority once I hit stage 16, as with him I can finally unlock 2 stage 13 characters, Regular Yugi and Grandpa. See, beating him at level 30 without taking damage is by no means impossible. Dark Magician can be summoned against anyone, it is not exactly rocket science. Ha, did it again. 5 life point restoring spells were used in a duel against a weak standard duelist. And you collect 10 cards by simply buying 4 card packs or get them as drops after duels. Even without spending gems or card tickets, you will have 10 cards within a matter of minutes. and the 5 spells can also be activated performing the Vessel farm, which would have the added benefit of working towards one of Yami Marik's missions already. Little Yugi is needed for Grandpa, so we should tackle him next. His missions aren't actually difficult. So what we need to do once we are done with the claiming the rewards for the Seto Kaiba missions here, is something I talk about in just a few seconds. I'm sorry about this. The pacing is awful as always. So, Yami Yugi beats level 30 Kaiba without taking damage, smacks Joey at level 30 with 1000 or less life points left, and summons 2 level 7 or higher monsters in one duel. Joey beats Yami Yugi at level 30, as does Kaiba, but with 1000 or less life points left. We saw Kaiba beaten without taking damage, and with Seto as my starter character, I would have unlocked Yami Yugi after beating him with low life points. So no matter what, one mission would be cleared already. In fact, another mission has already been cleared for us with Yami Yugi. When we dueled Arkana and summoned Dark Magician twice in that duel, we played 2 level 7 or higher monsters in one duel. The mission for Little Yugi were available at the point when we dueled Arkana, so this mission was cleared without even trying. Instead, you can also summon high-level monsters for one of the Pegasus unlock missions. That means 3 of the 5 Yugi missions are left. And one is that Yami Yugi beats Joey with low life points. I decided to be a lazy bone and let him attack me. Worked out perfectly. Actually, I did not anticipate this. The Cosmic Cyclone in my hand is from using box chips, as can be seen in the 5Ds video. I should have grabbed that card way earlier than I did, as it is crazy good and super helpful. Not to mention its banishing stuff, which works towards the hidden cut requirement. 2 Yugi missions left. So, let Seto win against Yami Yugi while having low life points remaining. Here we have a reverse Espa situation, as I would rather use traps and do not have spells on the field. I saw him use D-spell to remove my back row. None of this matters if we don't have any back row to begin with. Yay, once again. However, World Caratweight Champion went to the graveyard, or is about to go to the graveyard, while I have a plant in hand. Naturally, I am about to discard Angel Trumpeter to special carrot, summon another monster and bust out Dark Rebellion. If I have a carrot in my opening hand, I get it to the graveyard as soon as possible because of this interaction. We now wait on life point modulating cards to get our life points low and control his field presence at the same time. It is safe to say that we have this one in the bag. You can tell that I am just having fun at this point. Ah, D-spell, man. For a level 30 duelist. That ain't working, my dude. It's a trap, not a spell that I have here. Once I get my life point modulators, I could play them and wait another turn before finishing him off, as that would give me a comeback victory, which is not exactly what is needed here, but it would give us a few more dual assessment points. From chasing after dual assessment points for the hidden Silvio requirement, my brain is still damaged, programmed to squeeze out the last bit of dual score. The Hidden Crow mission also contributed to this. Dude, once his equips were gone, we went down the losing spiral. You know, I wasted enough of your time on this duel. Cosmic my own back row and go for game. Almost soundly beaten. One more mission remains before Little Yugi can be unlocked. I want to take this opportunity to wonder about the many hoops you have to jump through if you want to have a single character. Getting Yugi is so much effort already, and if you want to use him competitively with his lifetime skills, you're in for a treat. None of the character missions is difficult by any means, but it's a lot, and it's a lot of effort. Disregarding the 2 level 7s in one duel, you have to go up against level 30 characters 4 times, and that eats a lot of gate keys. Keep in mind that you need gate keys for characters in other worlds as well, and an early new account simply does not have a billion gate keys to waste. Waiting for them to spawn in the world is not a viable option, since with so many characters at 3 different levels each, there is a low likelihood to precisely get the one you need. It would take weeks. On this account I have been waiting to preserve some of my gate keys, and fair enough, got a lot of missions done with world spawns alone. I also find that failing a mission against a spawn does not make me as mad as losing at the gate, since I did not spend precious resources on the duel. You already saw me pick apart spawn duelists in DM World alone and not just go to the gate for each of them. And when I clear an unlock mission against a spawn, I get the joy of saving keys. Just like striking a good deal in a shopping mall. The downside of waiting on world spawns is, as mentioned, that it takes a lot of time. I would describe myself as patient, but even I did not want to wait for an eternity. So sometimes I get a certain spawn that requires a character I have not unlocked yet. Then I get that character through gate missions and then use them to take care of the spawn. To me, this is half efficient as it gets me closer to unlocking all characters. One of those is Grandpa. Kaiba destroys him at level 30, with Blue Eyes, Peggy just wins against him at level 30, and Joey, Taya, and Yugi simply win against him at any level. Since I would not be able to unlock him before stage 16 when getting Seto, I did not focus on him. But he came to the world quite a few times and made it possible to clear some of his missions for free. However, this unlock expanded over the course of a few days because of the stage 16 situation. Here we let Joey be the first of 5 characters to defeat him. And while 5 different duels are a lot, they should be short for the most part. Another point in his favor is that 3 duels can be done against him at level 10, which is neither difficult nor resource intense if you decide to duel him at the gate. So I prefer his unlock missions over, let's say, Yugi's. Did we just win by turn 3? Told you those are quick. That was my first interaction with him at stage 13. Since I spent a lot of time unlocking all those characters like Pegasus and Espa before staging up, I found him again. No Yugi or Seto yet, and Pegasus has to duel him at level 30. Solomon is at level 20 at this time, so the only choice was to have Taya handle this. While level 20 is not ideal, we should be fine, especially with our trusty Spike Shield Lash combination. He lost attacking me once. Or he's about to lose, attacking me once. Fast and easy as I like it. We made it to stage 16 in the meantime, and now Yugi can duel his grandpa. If we win that duel, we clear 3 of the 5 missions without using gate keys. And after this duel, we could focus on Yami Marik's missions, allowing time to pass. And then Grandpa might come to the world once more. However, you wouldn't know, as all missions for each character are grouped together in this video, even if some happened out of order. And at this point I actually happen to have enough gate keys, as this portion happened rather late in the playthrough. Having avoided the Grandpa gate for 3 duels already, I wasn't opposed to doing the rest at the gate, because I had saved some keys on his unlock through the spawns. I had been on this new account thing for the better part of 2 weeks by this point and wanted to get it done, so I did not care about saving keys anymore. The mission with Kaiba might be the longest one of the bunch, because we need to wait until we draw Blue Eyes. Just kidding. I'll be able to get him in my opening hand. And obviously the game needs to give me another one instead of a useful card for a change. Now it just becomes a matter of summoning the ultimate creature of destruction. No skill to help me cheese out the dragon. I have to tribute summon it. Hard tribute by sacrificing 2 monsters. So the earliest we can get him is basically turn 5 or 6, depending on your starting turns. And then it needs to get a clean shot in after my other monsters got rid of his. Or he just does not play a monster. That works too. The one duel here could have taken way longer, especially if I had to wait for Blue Eyes. Now Peggy has to beat him at level 30. No further stipulations or restrictions. This one is by no means impossible. Pegasus at this point assisted in unlocking Jesse Anderson during the 1.5 times experience campaign, so that's why he is at level 2.5. Yami Marik and Rex Raptor are left after this, and if you need to use a character unlock ticket on one of them, you might pick the King of Rare Hunters, as Rex is the definition of easy. You notice that after 4 duels I run out of stuff to say about Grandpa and his unlock missions. But we are almost done anyways. Gravity Lash and Kachikochi Dragon make this a W. Quick and easy, as we like it, once more. And a win by turn 3, which is actually a fitting end to this unlock, which started with a turn 3 win, if we remember. Looking back at all 5 duels, they were as fast and easy as anticipated. It was a 5-minute period in this video, so we averaged 1 minute per duel, or 1 duel per minute. Most unlocks take longer, let me tell you, and they are more difficult or complicated. The sheer existence of his finished missions on my list and me having to ignore those every time I cleared other characters' missions annoyed me so much over time that I wanted to unlock him as soon as I could. That also is one of the reasons I benched Yami Marik until after this. Another one is that Solomon has been in the waiting line since stage 13 and Mr. Millennium Rod just came to the end of the waiting line. So Gramps has the right to be focused on before him. Besides me just being annoyed. And yeah. Also, Solomon was easier and I therefore had more motivation. We can compare this to Marik's missions. And just look at those, would ya? Not only does Yami Yugi have to summon Slifer, but he also needs to get in with 4000 points of damage against Marik at level 30. Joey has to beat him with low life points and Mai summons a level 10 or higher monster against him. To top it all off, we have to inflict 20,000 points of effect damage in DM World. That's ridiculous. In all seriousness, it's actually not that bad. Slifer gains 1000 attack points for each card in your hand. If it gets a clean shot in while you have 4 or more cards in hand, you are super golden. A few things need to happen though before Osiris hits the field. We need 3 monsters on the field, Slifer in hand and a few more cards we do not use to beef Red Lizard Man up. Different Dimension Capsule, which is a card trader card, can be obtained from various character starter decks. At this point I only own this one copy and I think it is the one from Jim Cook's starter deck. It stays on the field for 2 turns, goes to my graveyard in my second standby phase after its activation, and searches me any one card from my deck. Using a skill ticket on Yami Yugi's Destiny draw might be an alternative, but I did not think about that. Before summoning Slifer, I need the 3 monsters plus 1 to run over a monster Yami Marik has. Therefore, I build my board first. But I cannot get carried away and need to stay aware of his life points as to not defeat him before Slifer comes out. He keeps drawing monsters and summons them in attack position. Does he want to lose that badly? No, actually it was all part of his plan to destroy one of my monsters. In doing so, he forgets that he is in a fatal position. I can beat him by running over his clown zombie. The time seems about right to summon Slifer soon. That would be 4000 attack points, 5000 by next turn. We need to remove the monsters which card she can do. Slifer then swings in for game. That makes 2 out of 5 missions done. So next up is Joey. We want him to beat Yami Marik at level 30 with 1000 or less life points remaining. A feat that we accomplished against other characters before, so we can try to apply the same strategies as usual. We may allow him to attack us but still need life point modulating cards to get below 1000 life points without losing the game due to carelessness. The risk is that we might open the modulators and no protection, which just happened. Yeah, my luck. Here I feel as though it is better to not allow him to attack and instead try to control the field. If our board is empty, getting field control back is way harder than it would be by maintaining field presence. And I, for one, am not about to mess up against a level 30 opponent. Mask of the Accursed actually helps me. Sure, one of my monsters cannot attack, but I can XYZ summon with it at any point to drop the mask, ending the burn. After manipulating my life points, I can finish it. That makes 3 out of 5 missions, but at this point we actually have 4, as the vessel farm had been conducted against 2 off-screen standard duelists to take care of the 20,000 points of effect damage. So, game wants Mai to summon a level 10 monster, huh? What options do we have? Basically, Shooting Star is the only extra deck monster I have at this point, and it is easier to summon a main deck monster, I reckon. Winged Dragon of Ra would be the anime reference, but both copies of it are locked behind Yami Marik. Obelisk and Slifer would work, and then there is Arkana Force EX, the Light Ruler. A card included in the starter deck from unlocking Sartorius. I opened it, so Capsule can search traps, because why not? Unlike the Egyptian God cards, Arkana Force is special summoned, so I can get it by turn 6, while on Obelisk and Slifer I would have to wait until turn 8. On the other hand, I could summon them from the graveyard with Monster Reborn after getting them there, whereas Arkana Light wouldn't be a viable target for that. Before summoning Arkana Ruler, I'd like to clean up his field just a little and maybe let him be stupid enough to give me an opening with his attack position weakling. Mirror Force took out his field, and Arkana Force EX, the Light Ruler, can take out his life points. It was turn 8 and the coin flip cost some time. It would have been faster to summon Obelisk or Slifer, but no way to know beforehand, right? We are talking about 1 or 2 seconds here, so who cares? While the 3 duels had to be against him at level 30 and we had to take some time to think about our moves, the missions were not really difficult. If I had to evaluate his unlock, I would maybe give him 3.5 out of 5 evil laughters. We had more difficult ones already and there are more difficult to come. Rex Raptor, however, is not one of them. The biggest gatekeeper for him is stage 21 as a requirement. And what do we need to do then, once his missions show up? We have to win against him at level 30, inflict 2000 points of effect damage and perform 3 tribute summons in a single duel. The 2000 effect damage can be done over the course of many duels, but we simply vessel farm once and move on. For the 3 tribute summons, duels in other worlds count as well, so rush dueling against any standard or legendary duelist does the trick. That leaves beating him at level 30. That's a fast one if I have to guess. People say that even at level 40 Rex is one of the easiest opponents in the entire game, hence he is dueled to farm skills. And while I don't know about that, I remember level 30 Rex as being beatable. That is the only thing we need to care about right now. Having a little bit of piercing damage helps to speed up the process. As a result, we beat him by turn 4. Since the other 2 missions were handled off screen, we can get him now. I want to stress that 3 tribute summons in one duel is not a piece of art. You don't need to see that. Neither do you need to be bothered with a vessel farm. I am going to show that one off at the end of the DSOD world video. Seeing this once should be enough to understand the process, although I'm showing it multiple times over the course of these videos. Besides that, I need to vessel farm against several characters in other worlds to finish certain unlocked missions. I hope you are not mad or feel like missing out on something. To finish the video, let me show you the character wheel as proof that we got all of them. Well, that looks like a complete wheel to me, at least until they add a new character for DM World. And with this, we are done. Thank you so much for watching.